Colossians, the letter written by Apostle Paul and Timotheus to the Colossians. Paul, an apostle of Yahusha HaMashiach, by the will of Elohim, and Timotheus our brother, to the Colossians and Colossae, and true brethren in HaMashiach, favor to you and shalom from Yahuah our Father, and the adding Yahusha HaMashiach. We give thanks to the Elohim and Father of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach, praying always for you, having heard of your belief in Mashiach Yahusha, and of your love for all the Colossians, because of the expectation that is laid up for you in the Shamayim, of which you heard before in the word of the truth of the good news, which has come to you, as also in all the world it is bearing fruit and growing, as also among you, since the day you heard and knew the favor of Elohim in truth, as you also learned from Epaphras, our beloved fellow servant, who is a true servant of Mashiach on your behalf, who also declared to us your love in the Ruach. That is also why we, from the day we heard, have not ceased praying for you, and asking that you be filled with the knowledge of his will, in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, to walk worthily of the adding, pleasing all, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of Elohim, being empowered with all power, according to the might of his esteem, for all endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father, who has made us fit to share in the inheritance of the Kodoshim in the light, who has delivered us from the power of darkness, and translated us into the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the likeness of the invisible Elohim, the firstborn of all creation, because in him were created all that are in the Shamayim and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or rulerships or principalities or authorities, all have been created through him and for him. And he is before all, and in him all hold together. And he is the head of the body, the assembly, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that he might become the one who is first in all, because in him all the completeness was well pleased to dwell, and through him to completely restore the favor all unto himself, whether on earth or in the Shamayim, having made peace through the blood of his stake, in you, who once were estranged and enemies in the mind by wicked works, but now he has completely restored to favor, in the body of his flesh, through death, to present you Kodesh, and blameless, and unreprovable before him, if indeed you continue in the belief, founded and steadfast, and are not moved away from the expectation of the good news which you heard, which was proclaimed to every creature under the Shamayim, of which I, Paul, became a servant, who now rejoice in my sufferings for you, and fill up in my flesh what is lacking in Mashiach's afflictions for the sake of his body, which is the assembly, of which I became a servant according to the administration of Elohim, which was given to me for you, to fill the word of Yahuah, the secret which has been hidden from ages and from generations, but now has been revealed to his Kodoshim, to whom Elohim desired to make known what are the riches of the esteem of this secret among the Gentiles, which is Mashiach in you, the expectancy of esteem, whom we announce, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, in order to present every man perfect in Mashiach Yahusha, for which I also labor, striving according to the working of him who works in me in power. For I want you to know what a great struggle I have for you and those in Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face in the flesh, in order that their hearts might be encouraged, being knit together in love, and to all riches of the entire confirmation of understanding, to a true knowledge of the secrets of Elohim, even the Father, and HaMashiach, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And this I say, so that no one deceives you with enticing words. For though I am absent in the flesh, yet I am with you in spirit, rejoicing to see your good order and the steadfastness of your belief in Mashiach. Therefore, as you accept the Mashiach Yahusha, the Master, walk in him, having been rooted and built up in him and established in the belief, as you were taught, overflowing in it with thanksgiving. See to it that no one makes a prey of you through philosophy and empty deceits, according to the tradition of men, according to the elementary matters of the world, and not according to Mashiach, because in him dwells all the completeness of the Almighty bodily, and you have been made complete in him, who is the head of all principality and authority. In him you were also circumcised with a circumcision not made with hands, in the putting off of the body of the sins of the flesh, by the circumcision of Mashiach, having been buried with him in immersion, in which you also were raised with him through the belief in the working of Yahuah, who raised him from the dead, and you, being dead in your trespasses, in the uncircumcision of your flesh, he has made alive together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses, having blotted out the handwriting against us by the dogmas which stood against us, and he has taken it out of the way, having nailed it to the stake. Having stripped the principalities and the authorities, he made a public display of them, having prevailed over them in it. Let no one therefore judge you in eating, or in drinking, or in respect of a feast day, or a new moon, or a Shabbat, which are a shadow of what is to come, but the body of Hamashiach. Let no one deprive you of the prize, one who takes delight in false humility and worship of Malachim, taking his stand on what he has not seen, puffed up by his fleshly mind, and not holding fast to the head, from whom all the body, nourished and knit together by joints and ligaments, grows with the growth of Elohim. If then you died with Mashiach from the elementary matters of the world, why, as though living in the world, do you subject yourselves to dogmas?
Do not touch, do not taste, do not handle,
which are all to perish with use, according to the commands and teachings of men? These indeed have an appearance of wisdom in self-imposed worship, humiliation, and harsh treatment of the body, of no value at all, for satisfaction of the flesh. If then you were raised with Mashiach, seek those things which are above, where Mashiach sits on the right hand of Yahuah. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. For you have died, and your life has been hidden with Mashiach in Elohim. When Mashiach, who is our life, is manifested, then you also shall be manifested with him in esteem. Therefore put to death your members which are on the earth, whoring, uncleanness, passion, evil desire, greed of gain, which is idolatry. Because of these the wrath of Elohim is coming upon the sons of disobedience, in which you also once walked when you lived in them. But now also put off all these: displeasure, wrath, evil, blasphemy, filthy talk from your mouth. Do not lie to each other, since you have put off the old man with his practices, and have put on the new one, who is renewed in knowledge, according to the likeness of him who created him. Where there is not Yavani and Yehudi, circumcised and uncircumcised, foreigner, Scythian, slave, free, but Mashiach is all, and in all. Therefore, as chosen ones of Elohim, Kodesh and beloved, put on compassion, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, patience, bearing with one another, and forgiving each other if anyone has a complaint against another. Indeed, as Mashiach forgave you, so also should you. But above all these, love, which is a bond of the perfection. And let the shalom of Elohim rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be filled with thanks. Let the word of Mashiach dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing with pleasure in your hearts to the Master, in Tehillim, in songs of praise, in spiritual songs. And whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Master Yahusha, giving thanks to Yahuah the Father through him. Wives, subject yourselves to your own husbands, as is proper in the Master. Husbands, love your wives and do not be bitter toward them. Children, obey your parents in all, for this is well pleasing to the added. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Servants, obey your masters according to the flesh in all respects, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, revering Elohim. And whatever you do it heartily, as to the added and not to men, knowing that from the Master you shall receive the reward of the inheritance. It is the added, Mashiach, you serve. But he who does wrong shall be repaid for the wrong which he has done, and there is no partiality. Masters, give your servants what is righteous and fair, knowing that you also have a master in the Shamayim. Continue in prayer, watching therein with thanksgiving, praying at the same time also for us, that Elohim will open to us a door for the word, to speak the secrets of Mashiach, for which I am also in chains, so that I make it clear as I should speak. Walk in wisdom toward those who are outside, redeeming the time. Let your word always be with favor, seasoned with salt, so that you know how you ought to answer each one. Tukikos, who is a beloved brother, a true servant, and a fellow servant in the Master, shall give you all the news about me. I am sending him to you for this purpose, to know your circumstances and to encourage your hearts. With Onesimus, a true and beloved brother, who is one of you, they shall let you know all the news here. Aristarchus, my fellow prisoner, greets you. With Marcos, the relative of Barnabas, about whom you received instructions. If he comes to you, welcome him. Also, Yeshua, who is called Justos. These are my only fellow workers for the reign of Elohim, who are of the circumcision, who were to me a comfort. Epaphras, who is one of you, a servant of Mashiach, greets you, always wrestling for you in prayers, so that you stand perfect and complete in all the desire of Elohim. For I bear him witness that he has a deep concern for you. And for those who are in Laodicea and those in Hierapolis, Lucas, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you. Greet the brothers in Laodicea, and Nymphas at the assembly that is in his house. And when this letter is read among you, see that it is read also in the assembly of the Laodiceans, and that you likewise read the letter from Laodicea. And say to Archippus, see to the service which you have received in the added, so that you complete it. This greeting is in my own hand. Paul, remember my chains. Favor be with you. So be it.